Alright, let's see if this works now. So, for this problem right here, we're going to find we have tangent, and it's between these 2 points right here, which this means that this is going to be in quadrant 3. I know that tangent, since this is a single angle right here, tangent is going to give me that y is 21, x is 20, and look at my quadrants right here. This is quadrant 3, and quadrant 3, I know that both values are going to be negative. So let's make those negative there. Now the next thing I'm going to have is, okay, so go through and find the r value here. So negative 21 squared plus negative 20 squared equals my r squared. Alright, let's see if we can see that. Alright, so we're going to have, let's see, clear that all. So start new. So I'm going to start with parentheses negative 21 close square plus open parentheses negative 20 close square here. I'm going to take the square root of that value, which gives me 29. So r value positive 29. R is always positive here. Alright, so now given this, I'm going to go through and it says find sine 2 theta. So sine 2 theta has a formula. It's on your reference sheet. It's going to be equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. So it's 2 times, let me see, the sine is going to be y over r. So negative 21 over 29. Cosine is going to be x over r. So that's going to be negative 20 over 29. So put that together. 2 times open. So negative 20, crap, should be 21. 21 over 29 times negative 20 over 29 right there, and I come up with 840 over 841, which on this one right here it's going to be answer B. Alright, so let's take a look at the next one, number 18. So 18 is going to be similar. This one, it says using half angle identity. So half angle identity, I'm going to have okay, so the half angle for this is going to be cosine of something over 2. Now for this one to equal 75, I'm going to double it, so it's going to be 150. So 150 divided by 2 is still going to be my cosine of 75. So equals, let's see, that's going to give me plus or minus square root of, it's going to be 1 plus cosine of 150 degrees over 2. Okay, now that I have that cosine at 150, I have to pull that 1 from my unit circle. Now, since we know that cosine is going to be in quadrant 1, that's going to be a positive value. So I'm going to get positive here. And that's going to be 1 plus, let's see, that's going to be a negative radical 3 over 2. All over 2. So with this one right here, I'm going to multiply by common denominator, which is 2. Multiply the whole thing, so I'm going to end up getting square root still. As I distribute this, I get 2 and it's a plus minus, so that's going to make it a minus radical 3, because those 2's right there will cancel, over 4. Then I'm going to separate my radical. So, am I still on the screen? Yeah. Alright, so 2 minus radical 3 over radical 4, which breaks down into 2 minus radical 3 over square root of 4 is going to be just 2. Now, in this sense right here, now they put their half out front, so just to mess with people. So let's take a look. So where you have, that one's a negative. No. Here we go. Answer is D. All right, that is 18. All right, now for question 19. So it says find sine. This is a half angle, and this is given a single angle. So if that's sine, I know sine is, I have y value is 1, r value is 4, x value is Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to have x squared plus 1 squared equals 4 squared. So x squared plus 1 equals 16. Subtract x squared is equal to 15. X equals plus or minus square root of 15. And this says right here, this is going to be in quadrant 1. So quadrant 1, that's positive. So positive square root of 15. Now, it says find sine. So half angle for the sine. So the half angle formula is going to be, so sine of, this one's x over 2, is going to equal, let's see, plus or minus, right here, 1 minus cosine of x over 2, right there. All that's inside the radical there. And so now from this, I'm going to get the cosine value from here. So I'm not actually going to have a value for this. So it's going to be sine of x over 2 is equal to, now quadrant 1, so it's going to be positive. So I'm going to make this positive 1 minus, now cosine is going to be radical 15 over 4 all over 2. So I got those from here, the x over r. So it's going to be positive 1 minus radical 15 over 4 over 2. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by common denominator, which is going to be 4. So this one's slightly different than the others. Am I still on screen? Yeah. All right. So let's see. Right here, as I distribute it, I get 4 minus radical 15 over 8. Now for this one right here, I'm going to have to do some factoring here in a minute on this one right here. It is going to give me some issues, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so it breaks apart into 4 minus radical 15 over radical 8. And for this one right here, I am going to have to do some factoring of this. So let's take a look. So as I multiply top and bottom, okay, to rationalize this, I'm going to have to do that. So I'm going to start by factoring the bottom. So if I factor the bottom, that's going to help out a lot. So let's take a look. So 8 factors into 2 times 2 times 2. So it breaks down into that. So that's going to give me 2 radical 2. Okay, so I'm going to have over, so 2 radical 2. Now from right here, we go through and we multiply. So we're trying to rationalize here. So we're going to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2. Now for this one right here, this is actually referring to the outside radical, not the radical in the radical. So this one right here, so technically this would be a radical of radical, which would be like a 4th root, because it's inside another radical. So this one only refers to my first one right here. So as I distribute, I'm multiplying what's inside here times what you have inside here. So this is going to give me, as I distribute, it's going to be inside the square root, so it's going to be 4 times 2 is 8 minus, now, because this is only referring to here, so I'm multiplying the 2, only the 2 part, because like I said, this is like a fourth root. So this number would go in front. So I'd get 2 square root of 15 all over. Now right here I get 2. I already have a 2 here. Now, but when I have radical 2 times radical 2, it's radical 4. So I end up with, that's going to be another 2. So 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. And so this is going to be that answer, which comes out to be answer C here. And my last one, number 20. So use an identity to identify this one right here. So if I'm looking right here, this one matches my sign. So this is actually for the half angle right here, because there's a minus sign. This is sine of whatever my angle is, theta divided by 2 is equal to square root of 1 minus cosine of theta divided by 2. So that's what we have for this formula here. So that's the formula. So now this number, which is 28, is my theta. So it's going to be sine of 28 over 2. So sine 28 over 2. So that's sine of 14 degrees. Bam.